This week, the president tweeted harsh criticism of Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, incorrectly stating that she mailed out more than 7 million absentee ballots to voters in the state, calling Benson a rogue Secretary of State and threatening to pull funding from Michigan. Well, Benson was quick to correct the president, telling him she sent applications for absentee ballots, just like several other states are doing right now. Joining me now is Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson. Welcome to you, Secretary Benson. Thanks for being here and for clarifying that. I mean, I'm curious your initial reaction to that tweet. Were you surprised, horrified, whatever, that he called you rogue and then threatened funding for the state of Michigan?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I noticed was that it was incorrect, like, very flagrantly incorrect. We didn't mail ballots. We mailed applications, as you mentioned. And then, of course, he tweeted again several hours later, correcting that. So we got through to him on that point. Still didn't get my name, but he did, again, incorrectly note that we somehow didn't have the authority to do what is central to my job as the chief election officer for the state of Michigan, which is make sure everyone knows they have a right to vote by mail in this state. So it was surprising, but, you know, in my view, part of what we're going to see escalate in the months ahead as we gear towards November, which is an increase in efforts to misinform the public about their right to vote. And that's, you know, I'll stand up and fight back on those attempts, regardless of where they come from.
So I'd love to sort of go through what exactly happened here. When and why did you begin mailing these applications out? And then how did the president turn that into unauthorized, illegal ballot mailing? Was that just a mistake on his part, or do you think there was something more behind it?
Well, again, I think it was an effort to kind of sow seeds of doubt in the sanctity of our elections process. Michigan's a critical state for the presidential election. We all know that. But more importantly, you know, we had facts and data that we were going on, knowing that citizens have a right to vote in Michigan, knowing that this is a time of great uncertainty. We wanted to give our citizens a certainty that our elections will happen this year, and that when they do, no matter what, they will have a right to vote by mail. And we were also recognizing that many groups, and including several local clerks, were planning to send these applications to voters as well. And I wanted to make sure that every registered voter in the state got this application so that they'd be equally informed and have an equal opportunity to exercise this right.
Absolutely makes sense. So this debate over mail-in voting, it appears to be divided pretty much down partisan lines. So Secretary Benson, is there a legitimate, a proven reason to be concerned over mail-in voting? Like how often, how likely is fraudulent activity that the president talks about?
Yeah, and interestingly, voters on both sides of the spectrum enjoy and take advantage of the right to vote by mail. So it's actually well embraced by folks on both sides of the aisle and by my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, who are all working to preserve the ability for their citizens to vote by mail. But that said, we know it's been happening for decades in our country. Many states have been allowing their citizens to vote by mail for decades. The actual data of any type of impropriety is infinitesimal. And when it happens, we catch it, in part because of several checks that are in place, most notably the fact that citizens must sign the application to get a ballot. That signature is then matched with their voter registration form to confirm they're a valid voter. And then when the ballot is returned by mail, they also must sign the envelope on the outside, and that signature is matched to the signature we have on file. So under every circumstance, we have multiple ability to protect the sanctity of the process and confirm that only those eligible to vote are returning those ballots and that people are who they say they are.
All right.
And when it doesn't happen, we catch it.
Michigan Secretary.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.